So it appears there was a conversation, and this conversation was between Bernie Sanders and the squad, obviously Rashida, Ilhan, AOC, and Ayanna Pressley. I know a lot of you guys are not fans of Ayanna Pressley, which kind of makes this clip a little bit interesting. But Bernie Sanders and the rest of the squad, this is a really interesting clip because Bernie is kind of like the master splinter low-key in this scenario. He's kind of looking at his disciples here. Obviously, Bernie Sanders is still in office. He's going to continue. But he is kind of getting into the sunset part of his career. We know that he's trying to get labor secretary into Joe Biden administration. But he's certainly in the sunset of his career. And he has a really heartwarming exchange between the squad members, because it kind of goes to show you just how marginalized progressivism and real progressives have been in Congress for a long time. But go ahead and check this out.
Somebody looking and say, hey, it's an old Jewish white guy. What does he have in common with these young people? Women of color. What? And the answer is, I have more in common with you than the overwhelming majority of my colleagues. Why is that? Because we come from the same place. We talk, we understand each other. We all come from similar, different, but we all come from working class backgrounds. We know what it's like to struggle out there. So you're right. You make me feel less alone. It's true. And I love each of you. I really do. You guys are extraordinary, each in your own way. And just thank you so much for what you're doing. And we're going to go forward together.
Yes, love you. After the election, we're going to squad up and continue to fight every injustice out there. Thank you so much for being with us.
And, okay, and I love the fact that Rashida let you get a word or two in tonight.
Yeah. Don't even start. Don't even start.
I think that a lot of people really do look at AOC and others, but I think mainly AOC is kind of looked at as who's going to be the main offshoot from Bernie Sanders, kind of like a baton passing situation. So Bernie's kind of looking here. Obviously, Bernie really, kind of spawned a lot of, people in the squad. Definitely AOC for sure, because AOC's political ambition started in the aftermath of Bernie Sanders. She got into politics because of Bernie's 2016 run. Had that run not have happened, none of her, political stuff would have happened, because she wouldn't have been interested in politics. So hopefully, as every 2 years goes on, hopefully these conversations will have more and more people, right? We got a lot more people who are going to be coming in. We got Mondaire Jones, we got Jamal Bowman, hopefully Marie Newman. We got very likely Marie Newman, I think. Kara Eastman's actually the one that's really, really close. You got Cori Bush, and hopefully we just keep getting more people in, having more of a progressive bloc in Congress, having a sort of a real progressive caucus. And, the thing you have to understand is you only need like 10, 20 House members to block stuff. Tea Party, I think, was in total like 40 with both houses of Congress. But, basically, if you got like 20 votes, you can actually force Democrats to really come to the bargaining table in order to get stuff passed. Because, hey, if you say, hey, we're not going to vote for this bill unless you come to the table with some progressive changes, well, you're going to force them to make changes. So hopefully this continues. And AOC, I do see as running for president in the 2030s. It'll be very interesting to see what she's going to do in these next 10 years. Maybe she'll even, run, I don't know, what year, 2028 maybe, who knows, I'm not really sure. She could definitely run in 2028, maybe the 2030s. But definitely a pretty wholesome moment. Did see a lot of wholesome moments between Bernie and AOC during the primary. Of course, AOC really came in and really saved Bernie Sanders' campaign. When the heart attack happened, his poll numbers were going down. The energy kind of looked like a sunset for his campaign. It looked like it was over. But she swooped in along with Ilhan and Rashida, of course. They came out, endorsed, totally re-energized his campaign from the dead. Again, really going to show you the power of endorsements, man. Endorsements, endorsements, endorsements. And I believe this primary actually was a record breaker, because I think it's the first time in a Democratic primary where the person who raised the most money lost. I'm not 100% sure about that. But, as we went over, the two main, sort of contributing factors or, indicative factors of who's going to win are A, money raised, and then B, endorsements. But I believe those two have always aligned with each other. But I think this is the first time where they did not align. So, it's really interesting. But definitely endorsements are massive, and they need to be taken more importantly. But Bernie also in another interview, I think he spoke with Vanity Fair for the AOC interview, the cover, and he basically was really gracious towards AOC because, you know, she saved his campaign. And I think he really wants her to be sort of the baton passer for him. And hopefully I'll cover that story in another segment. But definitely a pretty wholesome moment and really interesting to see. But you can really tell they really seem to get along.